Now, hey guys, how's it going? It's Chris, Mr. Moneyfingers Haddad, otherwise known as Michael Fiore, otherwise known as, I don't know, Gia, you manage our social media. What do people call me online sometimes?
Douche.
Douche?
Dick.
Douche dick?
Yeah.
Is it actually douche dick?
They're really charming.
They really
that.
are.
Yeah.
They really are. People on Facebook are just so charming all the time. It's a thing they do. Anyway, so we've got Gia Leosis and we have Mike Cardinal. Now, supposedly they live in separate places, but they're together right now with what looks like. I can tell that you guys are drinkers from the amount of wine in your rack behind your head there.
You should have seen it last night. It was his mother's birthday. It was alcohol central. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so really briefly, this is another one of our Affiliate Advantage interviews. So if you're seeing this and you have no idea who I am, which is cool, you don't need to know who I am. I barely know who I am most of the time. We do these for our affiliates for Digital Romance Inc., and you can find more of them by going to digitalromanceinc.com/affiliates. We did a great one with Travis Saga. We had Sean Gus. We had a young man whose name I am currently forgetting from ClickBank, who was wonderful. And now we have Gia and Mike. And the reason I'm so freaking excited to have this Gia and Mike on this is because I think Gia and Mike, you are looking at the future on this screen right here. Because anyone who's in internet,
what the future looks like.
Exactly.
Right here.
Yeah, right there. It's your haircut is the future, and my haircut is the past. I hope, fewer people should have it. But Gia, you first entered my life in a meaningful way. What was it, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, something like that?
Yeah, 6 months ago.
Yeah. So I had sent out.
Of course, you had actually entered our lives in a meaningful way before that. But
we're gonna pull a Marty McFly and go back in time on that. It's gonna be awesome. So I first met Gia because we emailed out to our affiliate list of X thousands of people saying, hey, this is when I was in Florida suffering horrible things. And might have been a little moody, and asked our affiliates, hey, what are we doing right, and what can we do better for you? And Gia wrote like the longest, most awesomest post ever, and was like, okay, well, we do social media stuff, and on Facebook here we have X. I think I forgot. I think you had like 500,000 likes on Facebook at that point, or maybe it was less than that. I don't remember.
Probably a little bit, around there, a little bit less.
But it's a lot now. I know that much.
Yeah.
And Gia and we had someone else who was doing our social media who was doing a less than stellar job. And Gia basically came in and said, oh, you guys are kind of getting ripped off. I can do way better for less money. And she took over our social media. And I think you just emailed me this morning. So why don't you tell them where you got us to in the last 6 months really quickly?
Well, we just actually reached a milestone yesterday, 200,000 likes on the Michael Fiore page.
Yep.
And we're pushing 100,000 likes on the Digital Romance page, which is amazing as well. But the Fiore page is just an absolute beast. And there are several reasons for that, which we're kind of going to talk about today anyway. But in 6 months, well, when I took over, it was around just under 50,000, I think, around 45.
Yep.
So it's now at 200,000. The last 100,000 have been in the past 2 months or so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, the bigger it grows, the easier it is to get the likes too, but it's also the strategy behind it as well. Yep. And again, we're going to talk a little bit about that today as well. So, it's just moving. It's moving like wildfire, which is awesome.
It's been really incredible for me to watch as well, just because, again, before I started doing our social media myself 4 years ago. I think I got us our first 20,000-ish likes that way just by basically working our list. Then we paid somebody to come through, and we thought they were a pro. We thought they knew what they were doing. They were a guru. We trusted them, and didn't work out.
There are a lot of pseudo gurus out there. It's I'm going to mention this later, but it's really important to find somebody who really knows what they're doing, because everybody thinks they know how to do social media, and it's like, I can put a post up, I can put a link up, and I'm awesome.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that, and obviously you saw the difference between the two. Not to say anything about the person that was doing it previously.
No. I think you just did the work, and it's 150,000 likes in 6 months, and again, 50,000 likes a month. I mean, when I look at the stats now, it's doing that. And that's something I would never be able to do and couldn't figure out. And then since then, also, you've become, and I know that you became affiliate of ours before that, but, you've become really kind of a powerhouse as far as being in our contests and being an everyday affiliate of ours. I mean, I see you guys selling all of our products pretty much across the board on a regular basis. I know you cycle us through on your page, and you seem to have a really amazing system for actually making money on social media. And, it's a lot of people are like, social media people are crap. They're never going to make money for you. And granted, you're not getting, 7% conversion rates, but you don't need to. That's not really the goal of that particular type of thing. So let's start off. Why don't you guys tell me how LSI started? I've heard this story before, and it's awesome, but I think people should hear this story.
Right. So about 2.5 years ago now, about 2.5 years ago, we were just kind of, I don't know, we actually met online. We met playing a game.
World of Warcraft?
Yes. I'm sorry?
World of Warcraft?
No, actually Mafia Wars.
Oh.
So we were playing this game together. We met that way, and so we did long distance right from the very beginning.
Yep.
And so what we were doing is as we were kind of cycling out of the game, getting bored of it and such, we started going to a lot of pages, just community pages, jokes pages, and that kind of thing. And so a friend and I were like, okay, let's just start a page, kind of thing. It was a humor page. And it was doing okay. It was fun. Mm-hmm. And so because we were we were together and very much in love, I'm like, I'm going to start posting these kind of love quotes, but I'm not going to do it on my own Facebook page because people are going to start, cussing me out and, they're like, you're
as they want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I said, okay, you know what? I love pages. I'm just going to go start a page. So that's exactly what I did. I just started from ground zero, like 0 likes. I just went and started posting things that I really liked, and invited some friends over to the page, and then it just started growing very, very slowly. It took me 3 months to get even 1,000 likes.
Yeah.
And then we had a poster that went viral. For me, it was viral at the time, but it got like 1,000 likes or something. And I was like,
it's funny how your sense of scale changes, isn't it? Over time.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Like 1,000's amazing, and now it's like whatever 1,000.
Yeah. Now it's like, oh my god, this is crap.
And now 1,000 likes.
I'm gonna slip my wrist because we made 1,000 likes.
Yeah, exactly. And so it just started growing. But I mean, Facebook at the time, it was a lot easier to grow on Facebook when we were doing it 2 years ago.
2 years ago, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they've really limited the engagement. They've limited how people see content, page content in their feeds. When we started, I would say about 12 to 14% of people were seeing pages in their feeds. Yeah. Now it's gone down to about 2 to 4%.
Wow.
Yeah. And apparently they're going to limit it even more to 1 to 2%. There's so much competition in the feed right now with Facebook, but the goals have changed as well. So they're really dinging pages, community pages in general, because they are on a campaign to give value to the consumer, to the members of Facebook, basically. So a lot has changed with Facebook. It was easier to grow back then, but it was easier to grow organically, I should say. Yeah, organically. Now it's a lot more difficult to grow organically. It's now kind of turned into a pay-to-play kind of platform, but you can still get a lot of organic growth. Like with Michael Fiore page and the digital romance page, you haven't put any money into it. We haven't put any money into it.
We pay you to do it, but besides that, we haven't actually.
I mean, you're not buying advertising, right?
Yeah.
So,
so it's free. It's free.
Yeah.
Just hours and hours of work, but otherwise free.
Yeah. That's the thing. So, you can't grow anything and make it of any kind of value without spending the time or the money. So, you're going to have to do either one or the other or both. So that's how we ended up kind of growing. In the beginning, in the first few months, it was really slow, but it was enjoyable. And that was the whole thing. And really, it comes down to your passion. As far as social media goes, if you don't like it and you don't love it, love doing it, love the content you're putting out, it's going to show, and nobody's going to care.
Because it's a daily thing. You're always. I mean, again, with our old person, they were like only post once a day or twice a day, and I thought that was crap.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what kind of page you have. For us, it's a quotes page, and now it's become more than that. But I mean, it started out as a quotes page, so people come to see quotes, and so you can post multiple times a day. If you're, I don't know, like a lawyer or something, you don't want to be posting like 10 times a day. People are going to get stopped and leave your page. But yeah. So that's how it ended up growing for
But it seems like
us.
those little inspirational tidbit kind of things, or little,
Right.
those seem to do really well as far as getting seen over
Yes.
and over again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people want to be entertained. They're here on social media because it's their free time. They want to come on. They want to see what their friends are doing, what their family's doing, whatever. But beyond that, when they're going to like a page, they're going to do it because you entertain them.
Yep.
And or they're going to inform them in some way or educate them or whatever. So, if you can get a combination of all those things, that's great. Even for pages like lawyer pages, for example, or dentists or whatever, posting something that's inspirational is going to help.
Yep.
Because that's what people share, and that's how things go viral.
Do you find that people share things? This is a question that I have. Like, it seems like people only share things they agree with, right? They only share things that they want to believe.
Very
right?
much so.
So I know I've seen something like a Fiore page. If we say something that's like, like realistic, sometimes it won't get picked up, right?
Yeah, no, you're stepping on toes. People get all up in arms, and it's funny. We always talk about this, how people say things on social media that they would never say in their regular life. They'll go off on you. They will go off, and they will say everything that you can possibly think of. But if you were face to face with them, they would never ever say it.
Ever.
Yeah,
but that's good for us because it helps.
It gives them an outlet. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's like kind of like bad advertising is sometimes good advertising too. Even when people are being trolls and they're giving you
you're
negative
still getting
feedback.
comments and engagement at that point, right?
Exactly, because it counts as engagement, and not only that, it goes into their friends' feeds, and their friends might think that they're totally off base,
And then they defend you and
like,
all that
well,
stuff.
let me see what this page is. They'll click in, whatever. We kind of try to control all the trolling and the negative stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I think has been good for LSI for us is that we've been very diligent with the adminning on there and the management of the page, so that people don't come. They don't want to see people's crap. They don't.
So
want to
LSI stands for Love, Sex, Intelligence, correct?
Yes.
And people, if people type in Love, Sex, Intelligence in Facebook, will they find the page that way, or what's the best way?
They probably will, but I made a mistake. Here's one mistake. Don't make it ever.
We all make mistakes.
I used a different. I used a special font for the name of the page, and it's not searchable. But the page is big enough now that when somebody types in Love, Sex, Intelligence, they'll probably find it. Yeah.
Because I remember I looked for it once, was having trouble finding it, and then I think I eventually started.
Yes, that's the reason why.
I actually had to go to the Fiore page and see what pages that page liked, so I could figure it out that way.
Yes, yeah.
So just a little background before I know that there's so much more to do, but how big is the LSI page now at this point?
Right now we're sitting about 930,000. 930,000.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, we're growing at about 20,000 likes a week. Yeah, right now. Yeah, wow, but the Fiore page is doing pretty much the same.
It is actually. I mean, when I look at it, it's doing 10 to 20,000, but that's because we're learning. We're riding on your shoulders because you already learned all this stuff over the last couple of years and are having that kind of impact.
But the Fiore page is just a beast.
I always wonder what that is. I mean, my bald head when I was 20, I guess I was 31 or so in that one. So I'm younger and have no beard, and I guess maybe that's better. But it's always strange to me that page has such momentum. I think you've written me some emails before about why the personality pages seem to be doing a little better than some of the community pages at this point, things like that.
It's not just that. It's the page category that you belong to makes a difference with the algorithm and what they're going to show because Facebook is going more towards showing personality-driven pages rather than community pages.
Interesting.
Excuse me.
Why do you think that is?
That's where they want to head to. Facebook is pretty much on a campaign to make Facebook basically where you go to get your news and your celebrity news and your information and the connections with personalities. So that's why.
So they want faces, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes, they very much do. They very much do. But it's also the fact that there's a lot of website content going out on the Fiore page. Mm-hmm. It makes a huge difference. Right now, if you don't have a website attached to your community page, you're done. You are done for.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you need to have a significant website. I mean, we have the Digital Romancing site that Megan, who works with us, put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into. And that I know when you started up with that, that was a huge resource for you to be able to work on our social media because you have all these articles, all these things. It's all that other kind of stuff. Yeah. And
there are 2 to 3 articles that go out every day. Sometimes 4. That go out each day. The algorithm recognizes that. The algorithm likes that. Especially, what they do is and here's some information that is actually very valuable to people who want to do social media. The algorithm favors links from websites. The algorithm favors links from websites that have value. And so what they do is they see when you click onto a link that goes to an external website, like the digital romance website.
Associated with your page.
That's associated with your page, yes. So that's
what do you mean by associated? Does that mean it's like in the list of resources, or what does that mean?
Yes, no,
it's in the it's in the back end of your website. Book has open graph native tags.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
and part of that is plugging in your page ID.
Okay, so you're not just like randomly throwing out to random websites. It has to be something that has a connection to what you're doing.
Like we could post a killer article from say digital romance on the LSI page.
Yeah,
it won't really do much.
No,
it won't really do much because it doesn't say okay you own that website.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes,
and so just doing random value links out to like buzzworthy articles and stuff like that.
No, it doesn't do anything. No, it'll do something if it's really good and it gives you engagement. People engage with it, then yes.
But they want to know it's your content or your thing, basically.
Yes, right? It needs to be. You need to have the actual the page ID on the back of the website of your website, and you also need to have your website listed on the back of the Facebook page too. So it's a twofold kind of thing. So what it does, the algorithm recognizes that it's your website, and they count how long the actual the person is reading the article or whatever it is that you have on your website.
Wow.
And so yes. And so what they do is they're like, okay, this person is on the digital romance website for 4 minutes.
Yep.
That is of value. They're going there. They're not clicking out immediately.
They're not bouncing right away. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Your bounce rate in this sense is actually very valuable for your Facebook page as well. So, so they're looking at how long on the actual article and how long it takes you to click and come back onto Facebook. And the longer that the person stays on your website, the better it is, and it favors you that way. And so that is the utmost value for Facebook right now, is how long people are staying on your website. If you have a website that people are clicking out of immediately, they count it as low value, and they take you down a few notches in the algorithm. If you're staying on the website longer, you're getting favored in the algorithm, and so more of your content is seen in people's feeds. So that's how they do it now. When you only have 2 to 4% of your people that are actually seeing your stuff, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So they're kind of checking to see, are you putting something out there that is of value? There's so much competition in the news feed right now that they're like, okay, what are we going to show you? When you have like 1,000 stories a day, they're like, okay, we can't show you 1,000 stories. We're going to do the story bumping. And so they started bumping up more valuable stories to the top of people's feeds, and that's how you get up to the top and you get more of your content seen. So the higher you are at the top, the better it is, because not only does the person in your community see it, but their friends are going to see it as well when their friends are going to see it as well when they engage with the article or the content in general.
Because they'll like it or comment. And I can imagine some people who are watching or listening saying, well, how do I game it so they stay on my website?
You can't. You can't. Yeah, you can't game it. And that's the thing. Too many people were gaming it. Sites like BuzzFeed and Huffington Post, and it's like TMZ. That's another thing. They kind of Facebook actually figured out that they were gaming the system that way and getting people to. All of these sites kind of clickbait. They're like, excuse me. They're like, check out Jennifer Aniston's whatever, and then you go in there and it's like, okay, well that's not Jennifer Aniston's anything, and so they click right back out. But they were getting clicks on their website, which is what they wanted. Yeah. But the person was not getting the actual, they weren't getting any value out of the post. So now that's why they're counting how long people are actually on a website. So
it's not just the number of clicks, it's actually what they're. By the way, there's a great, I think The Onion does this, but it's called clickhole.com. And it's a parody site of like BuzzFeed and things like that. And it's pretty freaking hilarious. So what are the big advantages of social media for marketers at this point? Because a lot of marketers in our niche and around other niches, they don't do. We started our website years ago. We started doing social media, though obviously not that well, several years back. And we would just kind of saw it as a investment in the future more than anything else, because, in direct marketing, so many people are just like, all they care about is, hey, I got my email clicks that are coming in, and how many of those can I convert over, and can I get cold traffic to work, and all that other kind of stuff. But I know that our email list, while very valuable, is less valuable than it was before, just because of email attrition and people aren't using email as much and things like that. But can you just speak for a minute about why it's so valuable and maybe even critical for people who are doing, whether you're a product owner or just an affiliate? Because you're an affiliate, you don't have any products of your own.
Exactly.
Yet. I'm probably going to make you change that at some point, and it's going to be about Facebook stuff. Because
that would actually be good.
When I first met you, I was like, we need to have Gia and Mike do a Facebook program of some kind, because you obviously know what you're doing so freaking well.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking too. But yeah.
We'll have a conversation about that. I can help you get make that happen.
Yeah, another time.
But anyway, why is it critical to be doing this kind of thing at this point?
Well, I think it's critical to do it hand in hand with your email list, first of all. Mm-hmm. But the great thing about it is that this social media is a renewable source. It's a renewable resource of people who are joining your email list all the time. And when they don't want to join your email list, they're on your social media. It's easy as pie for them to just come click like on your page, and then they're there. And if they're enjoying your content, they're always going to be there. So when we post something, we can post something every day. We can post products within articles, like 3 times a day if we want, 4 times a day, 5 times. It doesn't matter, because if you're giving them something that's valuable to them, that is entertaining them or informing them, then you can plug the product in there. So it's not a direct sell all the time. It's a very passive sell. So it may not get the same EPC, for example, that direct marketing does or email marketing, but we're getting, one article if we post an article, we're getting like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 clicks on that article. So 30,000 people are seeing the product at the end of the article, and not all of them are clicking into the product, but enough of them are.
No, I remember watching your stats during the LOD launch and being like, these are not the highest EPCs I've ever seen, but look at all the traffic.
Nope.
Like,
my God. It's the traffic. It's the traffic.
The traffic is huge.
So what are the biggest mistakes for social media marketers? What are the biggest mistakes you see people doing on their pages? What are the biggest mistakes besides not having a social media presence, what is the biggest mistake people are making?
The biggest mistake that I see is that marketers, they see pages and social media and people as a dollar sign first. First. And that's the biggest mistake. It's really the biggest mistake, because people get it. People understand. People are not stupid. You have to give them something that works for them. You have to give them something that helps them. And if you don't do that in a non-threatening way, then you're not going to get anywhere. There are so many pages out there that try to promote products, that try to promote even, like your products, everybody's products. And all it is product pushing, and then they wonder why their pages are dead and nobody's buying anything from them, because there's no value there. So the first thing is that you have to build a community, and you have to care. You have to care about people and what their needs are, because their needs are important to them. They may all have the same needs, but it's important to them. So they want to be treated like human beings. They don't want to be seen as a dollar sign. So you have to give them something of value, and you have to be respectful and respect them.
That's key.
Yeah, that is key. That is key. And that's the thing that worked for us in the beginning. We didn't market at all for a year and a half.
Long time.
No, not at all. About, I don't know, maybe 6 months into it, we saw that people were monetizing their pages, and we had no idea. We didn't know how to do it. We looked into it. Excuse me. We did it through a third-party app. Well, actually, it wasn't a third-party app. It was a website. Yeah. Okay. So, and then, we started reading and informing ourselves. And Facebook doesn't like that. Facebook does not like third-party websites.
I thought you were going to say Facebook didn't like it when you informed yourself. And I'm like, what is this?
No.
Is this Big Brother all of a sudden? What's going on here? But
yeah. What up? No, they do. They do like it when they want you to know how to play by their rules. So, we started monetizing just through doing kind of like click ads, and so people would click onto this website that was not ours, and we would get, a payment because of, like AdSense stuff and whatever. And then we decided, okay, this is not going to work very well for us, mostly because we were reading that Facebook didn't like it. So we ended up opening our own website about a year in. I guess it was, about a year in.
What is the URL of that site if people want to check it out?
I'm sorry?
What's the URL for that if people want to check it out?
Oh, it's ilovemylsi.com.
Great.
ilovemylsi.com, right. So we opened the website. It took a long time for it to kind of build, for the Facebook algorithm to start, accepting it, looking at it as something of value. Then we were just putting posters up there, just quotes, and feeding them into the Facebook page, and we were getting clicks back. So, we were getting some AdSense money, whatever. Then it was like, I think we can actually monetize in a better way. So we were looking online how to do it. I saw ClickBank. It was, I guess, in July of 2013. At the time, I was living in Greece, just moving out of there. It was a horrible situation. So I didn't do anything.
Pollution in Greece too. My God.
Sorry?
The pollution in Greece. My God, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so. It's not too bad, but Athens is really bad. But anyway, so I was just moving out of there, moving back to Canada, and so we put it on the back burner. And then when we got back, I was talking to a marketer, and with a client that I had before they were using her, and she said, "Why don't you use ClickBank for your client?" And I said, sounds great to me. And I remembered that I actually had a ClickBank account, so I started looking into it and found your products. And the very first thing that we did was we put Text the Romance back. Yeah, we used Text the Romance back.
It's a classic.
Very product. Yeah, it's a classic, all-time classic. And so we were stunned. Actually, we tried Amazon before. We tried Amazon.
They press.
But they don't pay you anything, really. Yeah, I mean, it's such a small piece. Yeah.
So, it's just, I mean, the commissions are horrible. It's like 2% or something like that.
As opposed to like the 75% you get from us. It's like, okay, money.
Right. We were stunned. I mean, so we put Text the Romance back up, and we were like, wow, we made like $300 in a week. We were like, this is awesome. Yeah, this is so great. And, looking back now, it's like peanuts, but it was the best thing ever. It really was. And that was only a year ago.
That's amazing.
So.
And is it true? I mean, you don't have to share exact numbers, but you guys are pretty much making your living off this at this point, right?
Yes.
Yes. That's
absolutely.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
Congratulations. I mean, that's not a long period of time at all. I mean, a year or two to get to the point that you're both being paid well enough. I mean, whatever you're making, I don't really care, but you're making enough to pay your bills and do well and a bright future, and everything's growing, and just because you're diligently putting the work in, instead of and this is just for people that are watching who want the free traffic and the magic and I want to be rich overnight, instead of the magic button. There's no magic button.
When I started, I have not had a day off since I started this page. There's not been a day that I haven't worked on it. I had a job in Greece, and I'd come home and I'd spend hours on this page. It's not easy. It's not easy. You need to spend time. Or you need to hire somebody that's going to spend time to do it.
That's what we did.
But it's the payback is enormous. Yeah. I mean, I'm stunned. I'm still stunned. We still talk about it. We're like, I can't believe that we're making this much money off of this,
Well, you're probably, and from what I know, from what we've talked about, I mean, you guys are only hitting the tip of the iceberg for what you're capable of.
Right.
Stick with me, kid. We'll figure some more stuff out. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've been just blown away by that. But it does seem like, I mean, some people are just going to be thinking like, well, how do I get 1 million likes in 2 weeks? How do I get this? How do I get that? You can't, right?
No.
The same thing with like our email list. We have a big email list, and somebody wrote me the other day and was on Skype and was like, Chris, how do you manage to win every contest? And it's like, well, yeah, we have a big list. We also provide content every week. We do a podcast, which is not really profitable by itself, right?
Yeah,
and we do the Facebook page, which is, we're starting to make money on it because we're starting to do promotions, but it still was a sink for a long time. And we do the newsletter every week, and we have the big website that we send all these articles from, so that people aren't just getting, and we certainly pitch our list, don't get me wrong, but they're not just getting pitch all the time.
Yeah, you can't do it that way. It's not possible. And people catch on. People get bored. They don't want to be pitched to all the time.
No.
And that's the long and short of it. You have to give them something else. And that's what we do. That's what we try to do every day, is give them something that speaks to them. I mean, we have so many people that write to us and say, this is the best part of my day, is coming here. Yep. You have actually saved my life. You have allowed me to get back together with my ex. You have allowed me to, yeah.
We get the other ones too, though.
We get lots of like, you suck, kind of thing too. So, it just depends on how people see it.
But you develop a thick skin because you have to.
Exactly.
To block their punches.
And people just say whatever they want to say anyway. So,
the way I see it is, if they're going to piss and moan about what's on the site or on the Facebook page, you're doing it in the comments, and people are seeing it, and it's getting pushed out there.
Totally. So even controversy can be good for you in that way.
Yes, it can be.
Absolutely.
And I know on the Fiore page before, I don't look at the Fiore page that much these days because I know you guys handle it so well, and I'm working on other stuff. But I've seen times people have gone after Michael Fiore for something, and other people have just jumped in and said and defended basically, and been
very much so.
Totally off base.
Don't screw with Michael Fiore. People will kick your ass. Like,
somebody's like, this product is crap, and blah blah, and they'll be like, well, it worked really well for me, so
exactly. And you see, this is the value of giving other people value. People get to trust you. And that's the thing, getting back to what you asked me, what's the biggest mistake that marketers make is that they only see you as a dollar sign. They only see people as a dollar sign. They need to trust you. You need to build a brand. You need to build a name. You need to build a name that people trust. And, they're not going to just buy from you just because you're cool. They're going to buy from you because you think you're cool, but they're going to buy from you because you're awesome. Yeah. You're awesome to them. You've given them something to make them feel like you're helping them. Yeah. And so that's the thing with Michael Fiore is that, you have a lot of credibility behind you, with the Rachel Ray show and all the things that you do, all the articles and everything.
Well, and just having DRI at this point, having that brand, because I'm a direct marketer. I'm an old school direct marketer. That's where I got my chops. That's where I made my first chunk of money and got into it. And Megan Darling, who works with us, who's awesome. She's been on my team from almost day one. She was the first person I actually hired to work with us. And she's the one, we call her the conscience of the company half the time, right? Because she's the one that keeps me from going off and forgetting that there's actually people there. Because as a direct marketer, you start playing it like a video game at a certain point. You're just like, what can I do to tweak these conversions? What can I do to do this? And you can forget that there's real people who are out there who you are impacting, for whom $50 is a lot of money, right?
Yes, exactly. It is a lot of money for them.
I think now, like the Digital Romance Inc. brand, it took us several years, but it's starting to mean something, right?
Yes, exactly.
In the marketplace,
exactly. That's exactly right. People recognize it. The great thing is that I'm starting to see people sharing out from the Fiore page and the Digital Romance page onto people that are on Facebook, but I don't even really know. And my sister, who is on Facebook all the time and knows the brand very well as well, and she's also a social media manager. She's seeing her friends and other people sharing from, she sees the content in their feed, and so the brand is becoming recognized everywhere. So it's really fabulous how that happens, and that is how you build a name. And with the world being full of social media at this point, everybody's on social media. That's the way to get your brand recognized. That's how you build trust. That's how you build a name, So,
but it takes time. It's like Coca-Cola would never think of trying to establish a new soft drink in 15 days.
No, it's not possible.
And branding matters, right?
Yes,
it actually does
very
matter.
much so.
It's also like somebody was asking us about the quality of our products at a certain point. And I know you and I have talked about this before, about why you promote our stuff much more than anything else. And it's like, they're like, well, Chris, why do you put so much effort into your products when I'm feeling cynical, I say a product is basically a refund deterrent mechanism, right? Because that's how a lot of people kind of see it. But we want people to buy more, so that has to be pretty good at that point. Like like Language of Desire, I think Felicity did an amazing job on that product.
She did a great job. People loved it. For us, and it's right in our sweet spot anyway. But we sold so much Language of Desire because it was good. It was good. And that's what they want. They'll buy it, and they won't return it if it's good. And so, put the effort in, help people. And that's
and don't sell the exact same product over and over again, like some people I know do, who they just have the exact. It's the exact same "How to Make a Man Love You" product with a new title over and over again.
But the thing is that we've always said that we're never going to put something on the page that we wouldn't buy ourselves. Because why would I insult anybody's intelligence that way? Why would I give my community that I've worked so hard to build trust with, why would I give them a crap product? Then I lose their trust, and that's not good for anyone. So we've always had that, and we've always maintained that. We'll never, even if it's like the highest converting thing on ClickBank, we don't care. We've seen so many high converting products that we refuse to put on the page because we don't believe in it. And if we don't believe in it, we won't put it there. So
we have a similar thing because people come to us all the time because we have a pretty big list and I'm pretty well known and they'll want me to promote this or that. And I'm like, you've got forced continuity. No, like I don't care that it's going to make me X thousands of dollars. I'm not putting my people through it. I'm not going to, I don't agree with your ethics. So let's,
exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about the algorithm. You've mentioned the algorithm quite a bit at this point. One of your points that Gia was wonderful enough to actually make an outline for me, so I didn't have to do any real work. It was wonderful. And for folks who have submitted questions, we're going to get to those at the end as well because there were specific questions that people had. Yeah. But talk about the algorithm a little bit and the engagement issues that will make or break you and how to tweak for searches and things like that.
Right. So the first thing you want to do is that you want to have a strategy, and you want to make sure that you're not only tweaking for Facebook, but you're tweaking for search engines in general, like Google. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure of that. So what you need to do for sure is put keywords into your about section. Make sure you have your website link attached and showing in your about section on the page. You need to have all of those things in place. Put your apps into place if you have any apps. If you have a Twitter account, for example, or a Pinterest account, and Pinterest, by the way, is a huge deal.
Exploding, yeah.
It's exploding, and it's driving so much traffic to us. You have to, if you are a female relationship marketer, you're missing out big time if you're not on Pinterest. So that I have to say that.
You mean a relationship marketer who markets to females, or you have to actually have a vagina yourself to be doing?
No. I mean, if you're marketing to vaginas.
Oh, okay. So, there we go. Just wanted to be clear because some people might be like, I don't quite understand what's going on.
I don't get it. Yeah. Pinterest is a big deal.
Because a lot of women are on Pinterest, like just tons and tons of them.
Basically. Tons of women, and women actually prefer. Well, I mean, women are on Facebook the most out of all platforms, but Pinterest is a very close second. Actually, Tumblr is second, I believe, but Pinterest is overtaking it. And Tumblr is actually a very, very much overlooked kind of platform for a lot of people, but it's very popular, but it's popular with younger people mostly. Yep. So we don't.
For us, younger people don't have any money and won't buy our products anyway, so we don't.
Right. So it depends on what your goal is. Yep. So if you're looking to market, of course, then you want to be where people are spending money, and women are spending money on Pinterest. Very much so.
Good to know.
Very much so. Yeah, they use Pinterest to kind of make their dream life. They'll pin the stuff that they love, and they'll also then go and buy off of Pinterest too. The great thing about Pinterest as well is that there's actually a product feed on Pinterest, and so if you, for example, have a product and you list it on Pinterest as a product and put the price on it, it automatically gets thrown into the product feed. And so when people are looking in the product feed or have, whatever, they've got their product feed going and they've got their stuff in front of them, they'll see your products there. They'll see your product without you even trying. Yeah, without you even trying to pin. Yeah, so it's wonderful. Pinterest also has rich pins, which is very important. We were talking about that for digital romance. We're going to get some rich pins going. Rich pins are what really started driving traffic to us.
What is a rich pin? What does that mean?
A rich pin is a pin that has extra information in it. It has the meta tags right on top, like right in the front of the pin instead of inside.
So I thought it was like had bling on it or something. It was going to be made of gold and have some,
diamond studded kind of pin.
Diamond studded pin.
Yep. So it has extra information. It highlights the name of your brand. It shows your brand logo on the front of the pin as well, which is not something that happens with the other pins. So that's really important. It gets people to click into your website a lot easier, and a lot more efficiently, and it also gets favored in the Pinterest feed as well. So that's really important as well. But if you're marketing to women, Facebook, Pinterest, very, very important. The other important thing, the other important platform, if for no other reason, Google Plus. Excuse me, it's Google Plus. If for no other reason,
on Google Plus. I always thought it was like some vestigial tale of the internet.
I'll tell you what it is.
Google is the king of search.
Makes sense. So basically, Google makes it so that if you have a Google Plus thing, you're going to get better search results because they own it.
Yeah. So if you're on Google Plus,
if you're on Google Plus, you're going to get better search results.
That makes sense. How much time does somebody expect to put into something? I mean, you guys started out, and again, there's that geometric curve with anything, right? It's way harder to get your first 1,000 likes than it is to get your the next 10,000 because you need to get a base that expands out and expands out. A lot of people that are listening to this they've either done Facebook really badly because they've just done, like I'm thinking of people I have who used to be my friends on Facebook, but all they ever do is promote their offers. And all they ever do is say, here's how to make $1 million online without doing anything. And I go, I'm not your target market. I thought I knew you as a human being, actually. So I'm so glad I'm getting your pitches all the time.
Yeah.
Like what's the initial sunk cost as far as either time or money or both that somebody should kind of expect to be putting into something like this?
Well, it really depends on where their page is at the moment. If you're starting from zero, the best way to do it is to invest the money. We've been on a $5 a day likes campaign for February. We haven't spent any other money on trying to get likes, new members or anything.
$5 a day is pretty reasonable,
$5 a day is not bad at all.
Come on,
And so if you're a new page, you need to go in, hyper target your ad, and just go for it. Spend $5 a day. You can spend $1 a day if you want. It's not going to give you as many results, of course.
It'll give you something.
Yeah, it'll give you something, exactly. Just $5 a day, $10 a day, whatever you can afford.
Just $5 a day can save a child and build a family.
Right. It can save your marketing life. So save your social media.
Yep.
So, even just $5 a day will do it. Go in. If you don't know how to set up an ad, either do some good reading or get somebody who knows how to do it to set it up, because the ad platform on Facebook is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It's probably, from what I understand, is the absolute best advertising platform right now. You can target people you can target behaviors like, I don't know. I swear they can tell when people go pee. Like, for real. Seriously, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
They probably can, because it's like if people are checking in for X amount of minutes, in the middle of the day, it means, you're probably on your phone in the bathroom right now.
Facebook tell me which people in the United States have just gone pee.
And you can sell colonoscopy kits or something like that.
So it's unbelievable how you can target. We've actually got the campaign that I've been running since February. We were getting 3-cent likes in the U.S.
Wow.
It's insane,
That's
insanely
incredible.
cheap.
Yeah. Considering the lifetime value of that not everybody's going to buy anything.
No, but that's not the point. That's not the point, because you build your community first, and then you market later. You build the community, because the bigger the community gets, the more it'll show up in their friends' feeds, and then their friends become, a community member as well, and their friend might be the one that wants to buy something at some point, and it goes on and on and on that way. It kind of spreads out that way. So it doesn't matter if this person's going to buy anything from you, but you're going to have to target to the people that you want on your page. When you're spending money, spend it wisely. Don't want a lot of
14-year-old boys on your thing at this point. It's like, well, that's not the target market. That's not what we're going for. I'm not selling video game stuff. That's not going to work for me.
No, exactly. And you can target people who are in relationships, people who have been, they've just been divorced, they've just broken up with their boyfriends, they're single, looking, all these kinds of things. So if you're in the relationship niche like we are, there's a lot of targeting that you can do in order to reach the right people, because you don't want just anybody on your page when you're paying to get page likes.
You can actually honestly get page pollution at that point, right? You just end up with the wrong kind of people. They're not going to engage. They bring the algorithm down because your percentages get pushed off, all this other kind of stuff.
Exactly right.
So going on Fiverr and having, because I've heard of people doing things like going on Fiverr and people will say, I'll get you 5,000 likes the next day, and it's like they're all fake accounts or people in China, and it's like this is not really going to help anyway.
And it kills your page. That is certain death. It is certain death. Do not buy likes. Do not buy likes from like farms. Don't do it. Go into Facebook. They have their own amazing platform that reaches the right people. Even with Facebook, there's an argument out there that there are some like farmy kind of accounts out there, of course. that you're probably reaching. But if you target it really, really well, according to behaviors, you won't get those fake accounts that'll bring your out, that'll really.
I mean, a few are going to sneak in, just like with on email lists. You get people. You always end up with some stuff, but you just kind of deal with it and you clean it up when you can.
Exactly. We actually target. Actually, this started when we were getting so much porn on our page. These porn people were just coming and flooding the posts by others.
Oh yeah.
And so it got to the point where I already spend many hours working on a page. Yeah. I was spending like an hour a day trying to delete all the porn. And it wasn't just the time that it was taking to delete the porn. It was that some of it was getting through, even though I have filters in place, so that the porn doesn't get through to the public, but some of it was getting through mobile. So people were looking, even though I thought that I had gotten rid of it, people were like, I know this page is like love, sex, intelligence, but the porn seems a little much. I'm like, shit, like with these jackasses.
At least they were being nice about it at that point.
Yeah. And so what ended up happening is that I started blocking entire countries that were really the worst offenders.
What were the worst offenders? What countries was it?
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Nothing against the Pakistani people but Pakistan, Thailand, Thailand, Indonesia, a lot of these countries.
A lot of cheaper labor places where people are probably out there doing that kind of work.
Yeah. And so what ended up happening is because I started blocking these countries, we weren't getting likes from the countries. And then we were like, okay, you know what? We're kind of like hyper targeting the likes that are coming into our own page. Yeah. So we have a lot of countries blocked. This is not the right way to do it for a lot of people, but for us it's worked because we want our target market or our people, our community, to be based mostly in the United States.
And you basically want 40-plus-year-old women who are interested in relationships.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we're going
when
for.
We're looking at it from a marketing perspective, we're like, okay, do we want our content only 12%, 15%? We're lucky because even though the standard is 2 to 4% of your posts getting out into the feed, we're lucky that we get over 10% like continuously. So because
of the work you've done and the quality of the stuff and everything.
Yeah, we're working with the algorithm rather than against it, and we're kind of anal about it. So the minute we're like, okay, you know what? If we get rid of these countries that we know aren't going to buy from us anyway, our community might not grow as quickly, but we're going to get more quality likes that we want to market to. And so that's what we decided to do. I mean, aside of the porn thing that was driving me insane.
I believe you.
It was just killing me. That was another thing too. So
what do you see? I mean, I see that occasionally where people, and again, the person that was doing our social media before, I'd go onto our page and see like somebody else was promoting blankety blank on our page. I'm like, why is that still there? Why didn't somebody do it?
No.
It happens all the time. People go on and say, oh, please to be going to this site to buy dildo. And I'm like, why is this here? I don't understand why it's not being.
They get banned immediately. I ban them off your pages immediately as well. I mean, it's just, go spend your own money, get your own people, build your own community. And if you have nothing of value to give to anybody, then too bad for you.
They're basically trying to snipe you, right? Like they're just like trying to get people to like their page off of all your work and what you've done.
Yeah. And you remember that time where, that person had come to the Fiore page and started promoting their ClickBank thing. I was like, no, you didn't.
That's not okay.
No, you didn't.
I love it when they get confused. They're like, I don't understand. I thought this was a place I could do this kind of thing. I'm like, no, that was never part of the deal, really.
That's because they have no idea. And it gets back to that. They have no idea how to use the social platform properly, and how to be respectful. And you just can't, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way.
So talk a little bit about the algorithm. And I mean, when I get emails from you all the time, it's about the algorithm is changing in this way. And I'm always like, how does she know all this stuff? It's amazing.
Yeah, because I keep myself informed. I spend a lot of time informing myself because things change all the time, especially with Facebook. The algorithm changes all the time. They do it because they're trying to get rid of all the bad quality pages, bad quality posts, so that, again, there's so much competition in the newsfeed. They're trying to give people, things of value. And so the algorithm changes all the time. So you have to keep yourself informed. So I spend, at least an hour or two a day going through articles, going through, the Facebook announcements and that kind of stuff. So, and
then you send us emails about it, and I say, "Well, she's on top of it anyway, so I know it's great."
Right.
Now, talk a little bit about like working with the algorithm versus against it. And I think there's this tendency in marketing to see places like Google, Facebook, Amazon, even as the enemy. You know, it's like, how dare Google not take my money? How dare Facebook, you know, not allow me to promote my porn products or something like that? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is that, and this is happening with all major platforms and Google as well. They don't want advertisers. All of the crux of it all is that they're trying to get advertising dollars, right? They're trying to get it from like McDonald's and, you know, all these, you know, little mommy stores and, you know, the companies and that kind of thing. They don't want their little kids coming in and looking at this porn stuff on your ads. You know, they just don't want to do it. And so, you know, everybody's kind of moving to a rated kind of PG at the most kind of rating with content. And so you have to work within that guideline in order to get your stuff favored. And so, you know, if you have porn products and you have anything that's too adult in content, I mean, we kind of had this thing with Language of Desire. We were kind of discussing it, you know,
line,
is it crossing the line? Should we say dirty talk? Should we say naughty talk? You know, you have to make sure that you're playing within the terms of service and the guidelines that each platform puts out there. And it's 100% guaranteed that no matter what platform you're on, they don't want crap. So you have to play
what a
within that. Yeah, I mean, just seriously, what is wrong with them? So, you know, you have to play within those guidelines. The algorithm likes good content. It likes quality content.
Where people actually engage for a large amount of time and are actually reading the article or whatever else.
Yeah, and now this is actually new with the story bumping thing. This is a new thing they put in the algorithm just recently. They are actually the faster somebody engages, or your page members engage with your content, the more your story is going to get bumped to the top of communities. Yeah, and so the faster you get the engagement on your content, the more it's going to get spread out by Facebook. The algorithm's going to spread it out more, so it'll get more attention. The longer it gets engagement, because, I mean, people could jump on it in the first minute,
leave right away,
which is great, which is wonderful. That's what you want. But if they keep jumping on it for over time, it's going to get favored again more and more. I mean, I think I sent you an email yesterday saying, look at this post that went viral.
Oh, yeah,
well, we had another one that went viral too. Within like, I think it was 22 hours and had 120,000 likes on the poster. That's a different one than the one that I showed you yesterday.
Wow.
So we had two that went viral in 2 days.
That's amazing.
120,000 likes, 50,000 shares kind of thing. You know, it's just,
well, it's funny when you see the metrics. I go in there and I'm like, this one has over 7 million views, and this one has 50. It's like, it's interesting seeing just like
But that's what the story bumping does.
Yep.
That's what the algorithm does. I mean, when people jump on something right away and they keep jumping on it, it's just going to spread out more and more and more. And that's why some posts get like 1,000 likes and other posts get 150,000 likes.
Yep.
So it's all with the story bumping.
What do you think about people who? What do you think about people who are like, you know, they're just sitting around saying, "I got to think of something viral. I got to think of something viral. I got to think of something."
No, you can't. Yeah. And the thing that we've learned, and we've been in this game for a while, and we understand it really, really well. You don't know. I mean, you kind of know.
You have no idea.
You know, but you don't know what's going to go absolutely crazy. You don't. There are times where I post something on LSI or on your pages, and I think this is going to be great, and then it tanks, and we're like, "What is that?" You know. And then we post something that I'm like humming and hawing for days over. I'm like, should I post this? Shouldn't I post it? Then I put it up, and it just goes absolutely insane. Yeah. So you don't know. It's also, excuse me.
Anything that talks about how awful men are is going to do really well. That's what I.
No, actually, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It depends. It depends. Yeah. But people mostly like positive things rather than negative things. But it depends on your audience.
Like they want things that confirm their viewpoint, right?
Yes.
Is that true? Yeah. I mean, that's what I've seen across niches. You know, if you're going to conservatives, you don't challenge their ideas about Obama.
Right.
You reconfirm them. If you're going to liberals, you don't. You know, you need to confirm kind of where they're already, which I think is a problem with the way people consume news and information in general at this point, because we surround ourselves in these bubbles. But it does seem like if you want to get traction, you want to confirm their pre-existing beliefs more than anything else, or say something that reaffirms it in some way or whatever.
Right.
else, you know?
Right.
Like the kind of love that lasts forever and blah, blah, blah stuff. And it's like, sure, great. It's like it's,
I mean, that's exactly what they want to hear. You know, they're not going to share something that they don't believe in. And that's just how it is. You know, like I wouldn't, and you wouldn't, I'm sure. So,
no, God, no.
Right. And
let's talk about, you say here, not paying attention to what's happening on your accounts. And I know you spend a lot of time every day going in there and making sure that things are kosher and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people just don't do that. They just kind of let it go and walk away, and they kind of see.
You know what is the most annoying thing for me to go and see when I visit other pages? The most horrific and annoying thing for me to see is spam everywhere. You go
from other pages.
From other pages. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I go into a page and then I see on their posts by others, they have 1 million people spamming their products on there. Then you go onto the poster, you're looking at a poster, for example, and you see 5 other pages spamming their own pages underneath.
It's all cross spamming, right? Basically, they're just
it's like all this cross spamming. It's like, pay attention, get rid of it. People don't like that. No. People want to go and see what they're, they want to go and see LSI stuff, or they want to see Peoria stuff. Yep. They don't want to see 5 different pages trying to promote their own products or their, their posters or whatever on that page. And they really don't want to see porn and stuff like that. They don't. So pay attention. Pay attention. Yeah. It has to do with your credibility. When you have all that kind of stuff on your page, they're going to think you're junk.
Yep.
It's just how it is. So if you have a nice, clean page, you're paying attention to what's going on. You're paying attention to how people are treating each other too, because that's a big thing. People don't want to come and comment on something and then be harassed after.
Vitriolic kind of angry situation. Yeah.
And so, on LSI, we have this disclaimer that says, we don't accept any homophobia, sexism, all these kinds of things. Be respectful to each other. We're not going to put down women. We're not going to put down men. That's not how it is. I'm sorry, because we want people to be there.
Anybody that was anti-gay on one of my pages, I'd just ban for life and mock them.
Well, that's it. I do. So, that's exactly what we do.
I'm like, screw you.
Yeah. You know what? Take your crap elsewhere. I mean, fine. You know what? You want to believe that? That's fine. It's not really fine for me, but
it's a free country. You can think what you want.
Yeah, you can think what you want, exactly. But it's not going to happen here. And then people start saying, "Oh, you're censoring." It's my page. It's my page. I can do whatever I want. And you know what? If you want to act like a jackass to somebody else, you can open your own page and do it.
It's similar, like Facebook. It's Facebook's company. They can do what they want. Yeah. They can change the algorithm when they want. You can bitch about it. You can moan about it, or you can get in line and try to figure out how to work with it. So, 2 quick questions before we get into our audience questions. One is, it seems like. So the male side of the market. Now, granted, we are way more focused on from women and men at this point than we do have products for men. And we have a new one we're working on, Language of Lust, which is kind of the male version of Language of Desire, which we're kind of excited about. Because men don't want desire; they just want lust. It's just the way it is.
They just want lust. They want it.
Yeah. But it seems like a lot of people that are selling male stuff, it's like Facebook is kind of a dead issue. Almost, it seems like, because to sell to guys relationship stuff, the stuff that sells is pretty much porn. It just is.
You don't have to market it that way, though.
True.
You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to be sleazy. Once it's on your website, you can do whatever you want with it.
So once they're out of the Facebook world, it's okay at that point.
Yeah, just don't make it sleazy on Facebook. Present it in a non-sleazy way.
Yep.
And then if you want to be sleazy, do it on the website.
So you don't say how to make her gush like a waterfall in a Facebook ad and expect to actually not get banned.
No, you will get banned.
What do you think about people who do this is more on the advertising side of things, and I know you guys we're mostly talking about organic here, but not organic, but building a page. I know there's a lot of people who they spend all their time, and again, we've made a lot of money off these affiliates in the past, who they game the system, they have 50 Facebook accounts, every time one gets shut down, they move over to another one.
Sure.
What do you think about that kind of thing? Besides just is it worth trying that, or is that just a waste of your time, or what's the point?
Yeah.
Totally wasting your time. You could try different pages.
Yep.
Don't try Facebook account.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah. And it seems to me it's one of the things that we talk about internally in our company is long term versus short term. And I think we've had this discussion before about I want digital romance to be around in 10 years. Right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And Megan and I talked about that when I started the company, 5 years ago. It was okay, we're starting to get some traction here. We're starting to make a little bit of money. What can we start doing now that we know is going to pay off in 5 to 10 years? Which is hard for a lot of people to do, right?
Yes.
Because they just want what they want is the one offer that works on cold traffic, that makes them $1 billion, that never dies. And I'm like, that doesn't happen. It doesn't. There's no universe in which that actually works. And I think it's just a matter of mindset. I mean, from what I hear from you guys, mindset-wise, is you're thinking long-term. You're thinking of you're building an asset every single day. And granted, there is some danger. I've heard of people having their Facebook pages shut down.
Yes.
But that's because they're doing it wrong. right?
They're doing it wrong. They are doing it wrong. They're not paying attention to terms of service, and it can happen at any time. You can go for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 months, even 6 months a year, and and not be and kind of violating the terms of service. And then one day they'll just take you down.
Yep.
They just will.
Yep.
And so you have to be very,
it's like
very
when
careful.
Somebody notices, or when they get around to it.
They get reported too much. They get reported, or the algorithm kind of clues in that you're putting up porn and nothing else, and that kind of thing. The porn pages get shut down pretty much right away.
Yeah.
And so you'll see that they'll open. They're almost always, they have very few likes because they just keep getting shut down.
Yeah.
So they have to start all over again. The point is that what do you want to do? Do you want to try to sell something to cold traffic, or do you want to try to build a community and try to build trust? And the thing that's worked for us,
you warm those people so they trust you, and then you can actually promote them.
Yeah,
make some
but
money.
They trust us because we respect them, and we give them something that they need, and we give them things of quality, and that's how the relationship works on social media. And I think that's how it works with email marketing too. When anybody who's doing it, you have to have the trust of the person. Why would they buy your product? Why? Just because? No, it's just
it's great. Go buy it.
Yeah,
it's also why I hate when people do launches and such, and their swipe copy is all, this amazing new product is coming out. And I'm like, dude, that doesn't work. Not for VSL anyway. I've never seen it work, and I've sold a lot of stuff.
People are savvy to all this stuff now because they've been marketed and spammed to so much.
Yep.
They understand, they know, they click out of it right away, and that's what happens with us when we're looking at the product of VSLs and the text versions of the sales letters.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel like it's smarmy, I shut it down. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not putting it there because people are not stupid. They get it.
Compliment that you don't think our stuff is smarmy.
I don't know. No, I mean, you're good. You're a good aggressive seller.
Yeah, we are.
But you don't insult people's intelligence, and that's the main thing for me. It's our community too. We've got a lot of educated people, people who understand. They get it. They see it right away, and they cry foul immediately. Yep. I mean, they cry foul. There are a lot of people who are like, "What is this crap?" And because it's a video sale, they know it is. Yeah. So they just have to. A lot of people will just wait, and they'll see the value in it if they go through the whole thing. Other people are just like, oh God, why are you selling me crap? They don't even know what it is. I'm like, have you looked? Have you even looked at the product? And you're passing judgment on something that you don't understand.
You're going to get some of that no matter what, right? There's just going to be people. Totally. I mean, I know this from our email list. Even we get people that email in and they're like, I can't believe you're selling me something, and I'm always like. It costs me money to have you on this email list, right?
Yeah. So bugger off.
It actually cost. I mean, each individual name isn't that much, but you get a couple $100,000, 100,000 of them. It adds up. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it costs something, and it's always interesting this attitude that we're in 2014, 2015, where it's like everything should be free. I'm like, that's not an economy, folks. That doesn't really work.
No. Well, that's good. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to let you finish, and then I was going to dive into some of the questions we got.
Right. Well, the thing is that back in the spring, when Facebook made the big change to the algorithm, and community pages were getting no activity anymore, no engagement, and that kind of thing, people were freaking out. Especially pages that had were marketing some sort of product. But the thing is that Facebook's a business, first of all, and any platform is a business, right? We're talking about Facebook mostly here because Facebook is where you're going to make the most of your money, and that's all there is to it.
At least now, in the future.
Yeah, right now, right. As far as social media goes, anyway. The thing is that Facebook is a business. You have ridden on this business for free for so long. You're still allowed to be there for free, but what they're saying is that this is rental property, basically. It's property, and so you're expecting to advertise your brand and your business and your products for free, and then you get up in arms when you say, okay, well, you're not going to get as much engagement.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. Where can you go to actually get free organic advertising? And you can't go anywhere. And so that's the thing. You can do it organically for free on Facebook or anywhere. But the best result is going to be when you put a little bit of money into it. And that's all there is to it. And it's fair.
And it's not a ton of money, but you have to get something in because then Facebook will take you more. I mean, it's with anything. When somebody pays you, you take them more seriously. It's just the facts, you know.
By the way, people also think, because you brought that up, I just remembered, people think that if you pay Facebook for advertising, that it makes you immune to the terms of service. It does not. They will take your money and then they will shut you down if you violate the terms of service. So just be aware of that.
Unless you're spending bajillions of dollars, and even then, really.
And then they might. Even then, we've seen pages that have over 1 million likes on them get shut down, and they don't care. They don't care. Yeah.
One other quick question before we get into the questions from the people that wrote in, because we sent out an email on Friday night, and we're recording this on Sunday, so we got some stuff in. When people were smaller, when people were first getting started, they first have their page. They see a page like LSI. They see a page like the Fiore page or DRI, and they're like, and I can understand that temptation to just want to go into the post by others and say, hey, if you like this, go check out mine too.
Right.
Should they do that, or like, what's the right way to do that? If like to try to like, what do you do?
First of all, it's very bad decorum.
It certainly would piss me off. I know that because that's what it does.
Okay, here's the long and short of it. Some pages allow it, and other pages don't. If you want to follow proper decorum, you don't do it because it's not your page. Yep. The proper way to do it, if you want to if you admire a page, if you see a page that you want to work with, message them. Yep. Ask them. Excuse me. Ask them, can you please share for me? Can we have some kind of a mutual sharing relationship or something like that? What we've done now is that we don't really do sharing anymore because we get hundreds of requests. We get so many requests. We used to share little pages all the time, but as we grew and grew and grew, we just get a ton of pages. And so, in the interest of fairness, we said, okay, we're not doing any more sharing because it's not fair. We've got these little pages, and then we've got bigger pages.
But for them, it's like it's a make or break thing. Like, if you guys share, and it's the same thing with us. Like somebody comes into an offer and they're like, oh man, if you mail for me, that starts everything. And I'm like, maybe, but your offer needs to be good.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that for us, with what we're doing. Yeah. For us, it's more of it's a fairness thing. Like we had a few 100,000 people, a couple 100,000 people, and we would share little pages that had only 13 people on them. It wasn't a big deal because to us it wasn't. It didn't do anything for us. Like it didn't cost us anything.
Downside,
and you help. You help another page grow. So we used to do it all the time, but now that the brand is out there so much, we can't. We just can't share all those people, and especially with the algorithms changing the way that they have, sharing isn't. Yeah, it doesn't work very well anymore anyway. But but mostly it's because there are just too many people. Yeah, too many pages sharing.
But anyway, asking for a like. People ask you to like their page or ask your page to like their page.
We don't generally do that either. We have to see when I started, I was in a little kind of admin group of pages that were like ours. And so, we would help each other. I would have them in my page likes. I would share from them. They would share from me. They would, that kind of thing. Personally, the way that I feel about this, like my page business, because it shows up on your page's likes. I only want to like a page if I personally believe in it, and I don't mind my community going over there as a reflection of what LSI is presenting to them. So, yeah. I mean,
I know in ours, we like pages that are from people who write for our website,
right,
who are friends of ours, or things like. And sometimes, and it's tough when you become bigger. No matter whether it's an email list or your revenue or whatever else. You kind of outgrow some people, and it gets a little tough because people are like, well, you used to do this for me. I'm like, I can't do it for you anymore because you're not going to pay.
You have to pick and choose then, and it gets hard, but you have to pick and choose because you don't really have any other options anymore. So, yeah.
So let's go through some of these questions here. We got not that many. Hopefully we can get through them relatively quickly because we're a bit over an hour now. Okay. One question was, and I don't have the names of who put these in, but if you recognize the question, it's probably yours. Or probably what Colleen does is she probably got the same questions 1,000 times and just
right.
One, because that's the way it works. How do you get somebody who you already got to like you to comment and interact when you post?
Right. Okay. So this is the hardest part of it, and this is one of the most important parts of it.
Yeah.
Post good content. And that's all there is to it. Post good content.
Yeah.
Post something that, that is interesting. Just throwing things up there randomly isn't going to do anybody any good. People don't care. Go through, ask a question.
Asking questions is huge. I know even on my personal page, we're personal Facebook friends, I'm sure. And I haven't done it in a while, but especially when I was stuck in Florida, I would just ask random questions on a regular basis and get, 100 responses sometimes where you're just, I don't have 100,000 people liking me on Facebook or anything like that.
So, yeah. Well, it's depending on the size of your page, they're going to be, a similar amount of responses that you get, of course. If you have a small page, you might see, I see a lot of small pages kind of putting out questions all the time and nobody answering. So, you have to kind of mix it up. Yeah. You have to mix it up.
Interesting questions too. I know when I started our Facebook page, the Michael Fiore page, I was posting a couple times a day, and I would post little rants or little things from our content, and then I would just ask questions like, I don't even know, I forget exactly what they were, but if you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would it be, or anything, or just all this other some stuff that was romance, and it would get engagement, and people would kind of enjoy it at that point because it was mixed in, right?
Yeah.
But if it's just that all the time, then it's like,
And if you're a small page, you might not get any responses right away. You might have to wait until you grow a little bit more, or, it doesn't matter though. Mix it up though. Yep. Mix it up between questions and posters and links and maybe some videos. You want to do a little bit of a mix of stuff. And the really important thing too is to make sure that you're doing kind of like an 80-20 thing, where you're posting 80% at least of fun, engaging content that people are entertained by or can relate to and that kind of thing. And then 20% or less of kind of like promoting you, because nobody, I don't want to say nobody cares about you, but they're there because
I have a wife. She likes me. I promise.
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about the plural you. Yes. So, they're not there. They don't really care that, you've got like 5 million new products or whatever. They're there because they want to see something that they can relate to. Yeah. So, and that they can engage with. They want to engage. People want to engage. So give them something that they want to engage with is basically. And
I think just having a call to action at the end of a post is always good too. You're posting about, there's that Julian Blank thing recently. There was that pickup artist who got in trouble and kicked out of Australia. You can post about that and then just say, what's your opinion or something like that. And man, you will definitely get responses on that one. I'm sure.
Stuff like that. I put up posters, by the way, quotes, picture quotes.
Oh, yeah.
Are the things that get engaged with the most, especially things that are more inspirational or, for us, it's love related and relationship related stuff. But, those are the things that get the most engagement and go viral. That's what you want to concentrate more on, but do put, like a bunch of different things on there, like, questions, text updates, status updates, video. People like videos. You do. So, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. As long as the videos aren't obnoxious and actually have some content to them.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
Like, people are bored out of their skulls. They go to Facebook to escape the doldrums of their day.
Exactly.
Right? That's kind of why they're there.
Entertain you.
Entertainment and infotainment and all that stuff. We have a question here. I think you probably already answered this one. How do I get more people to like and comment on my page without having to recourse to Facebook ads? And I think you kind of talked about that a lot already. You
can do it. You can do it. You can ask other pages to help you. I don't know how willing they are anymore.
I would say this, like, if you're going to ask somebody for something, you're getting into this position. I've been in this position for a while where you're kind of an 800-pound gorilla in some way. And it's always shocking to me when people are like, "Oh, do me this favor," and I'm like, Would you
and then they get angry.
Do something for me first. Like, I don't understand. Like, I would never approach somebody and ask them to like our page or mail for us or anything like that without having some kind of reciprocity in mind or having done them something in the first.
Messages, all the time. Would you like to share for share?
But your page is 5 people and ours is 1 million. It's a whole different kind of thing.
Yeah. And again, we used to do that. We didn't have a problem with that. But, when it gets to the point where you have 1 million people asking you to do it, then it's not possible. So,
but I think you can do it without that. Like, when I first got into this business, I didn't have any connections in the relationship niche. I didn't have a list. I had one product. I text your wife into bed that I just created. And what I did is I found the affiliates who were the people that were in that niche, and I just started giving them free consulting. basically.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, listen, I was known as a copywriter, so that was what I had as a valuable thing. And then I would just go and look at people's pages and I would tell them what to fix. And then they would tell their friends that it increased conversions. And then they would start mailing my thing and it goes from there. But it's much more long-term than just begging.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. People don't understand that you actually have to work on it. It's a project.
Yeah.
It's a project. It's not just, like, I think I'll do this whenever I feel like it.
Yep.
You can't do that. It's a project. And especially if it's a business, then you have to be on it all the time. You have to be on top of it and you have to have a strategy. That is the most important thing. You have to have a strategy. If you don't, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, especially now with the way that Facebook works and the algorithm works. If you don't have some kind of a strategy that is an informed strategy, you're not going to get anywhere. So the most important thing really is to make sure that you are informed, you understand how it works. And if you don't understand how it works, then you need to find somebody, a social media manager, to do it for you, so that because you can make a lot money on social media.
But it takes time. But it takes time.
Yeah, it takes time.
And again, we engaged with you 6-7 months ago. We weren't making money on that page the first month or the second month or anything like that. We are now, but it took a while to build that up to get to the point.
Exactly.
We're lucky enough to be in a position that we can afford to do that, but it's it's a different kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? You don't have to get somebody to do it for you if you have some time and you can actually read up on what needs to be done and then do it on your own. Or at least do the best you can on your own. At least know what you're doing. Because if you don't understand Facebook properly and how it works and how the algorithms work, then you're kind of like, shooting at nothing. You're hoping that it's going to work, but it probably won't.
And you can do that a little bit and then you focus down, like you figure out what actually works. Here's one question I don't even know if we should answer it, but it's here anyway. I do not know anything about joining or promoting on groups. And would love to hear about this. I mean, I don't know anything about it. I'm in some Facebook groups that I get invited to.
Yeah, there are Facebook groups. A lot of people actually conduct their business in Facebook groups. They can be either open or private. So, I'm not sure what the question is,
No, I'm not really sure either. I mean, I have a private Facebook group with some copywriters in it, just people I kind of unofficially mentor, essentially. And I think it's a nice way to talk to people and do things like that. I don't really know. I've never seen a Facebook group as a... there's like the Cult of Copy group and a couple other things, and John Benson's got one that's on Facebook around copy as well. And you can use that as a community building thing. It's a group as opposed to a page. And I guess it's just psychologically different more than anything else. And
it is.
Yeah. You're a member of it. So,
But your product doesn't get out there.
No, not at that point. I think that's actually more valuable for building guruhood than anything else. I think it's like, I know what Colin does. I'm always joking with Colin Theriot because nice guy, smart guy, but he's got the Cult of Copy. And I'm like, dude, but you don't know anything about writing copy. He's like, I know, but they think I do. And it's
that's right.
But he does know a lot about psychology and selling and things like that. He's just not a copywriter,
Right.
And he's a good guy and he's a friend of mine. And I think what he's done with that is brilliant. But that's much more about building up the persona and kind of purposely keeping it as a separate thing where you're keeping control of how many people are there and whatnot and things like that. Here's a big question. Most importantly, what did G and Mike do to get to the leaderboard of launches without having a list of their own? Now, I know you do have some lists that you've built, but it's certainly not your but it's certainly not the biggest part of what you do. Yeah.
No, not at all. And actually, we don't actively build our list that much. I mean, it's like, we should probably try to build
there's only so
list.
many hours in the day.
Yeah. Sorry?
There's only so many people tell us, you should do this, this, and this. I'm like, and if I had 50 more people and all the time in the world, we would totally do that.
I mean, because of the way that the brand has expanded so much, it's just there's so much to do. I work on it all the time. Mike works mostly on the technical side on the website, and then my sister, who's also a social media manager, she works on it as well. So there are three of us working on LSI right now, and there's still not enough hours in the day because I mean, like I have other work too. Mike has other work too. So anyway, so we kind of pick our battles, but. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Just, how do you get on the top of the leaderboards?
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's just because you've done all the work so far, really. It's because you're on the leaderboard now because of what you started doing 2 years ago. That's why you're on the leaderboard. And nobody else did it. Nobody else did it, basically.
Right. Yeah. I don't know of any other pages, I don't think, that are relationship based that that do, that market the way
I've
that we do.
I've seen some in the self-help niche, the woo-woo law of attraction kind of niche, things like that.
Yeah.
And I know they've done well in launches in the past, but to me, it's just like you started digging, like 2 years back, and then you figured out how to make it work.
Yeah, we were very focused and very, I'm going to use this word again, we were very anal about the whole thing, and especially me, because I'm like, I'm on top of everything all the time,
You are.
And I want it just so. And
it makes you wonderful to work with, by the way, because it's always just it makes you wonderful to work with, because it's just like, hey, this is taken care of. I know that now.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly. And the great thing about working with you is that you're not like a micromanager.
Okay.
And so, you just let me do my thing and it's working. And so because it's working, we're good.
If it wasn't working, we'd have other conversations, but it does. So, hey, I can go off and do something else. Yeah.
That's right.
Let me see here. So there's that part. They're asking for you to basically give them a free course on how to do this, which you're not going to do. So that's a whole other thing. People, they're like, can we have can she create 50 mind maps of exactly not unless you're paying.
I can do some strategizing for them. I can also, if anybody wants any kind of help or anything, I can refer them. Like my sister does the job as well and everything. So and I trained her, so she's really good at it.
Let's just talk about this now. Folks who are watching this, comment on the affiliate page. And let us know if you think Mike and Gia should put together a course. I think they should, and if there's enough interest.
We're thinking about it, yeah.
I mean, I can certainly guide you through that and help you get the marketing done and introduce you to people and that kind of thing, and we'd figure out what the deal was at that point. But I think, I don't know anyone that's doing what you're doing to the level you guys are doing it, and I know everybody in this business, and I don't know anybody that's really.
Our language of desire sales.
Yeah.
During launch, we're all organic.
All of it. We did not pay at all.
Exactly.
They were all organic.
No
we did not put
any
money into it.
And that's amazing. And it's also like, you're creating something that's going to last when, email is continuing. It's still there. It still works.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Less of a thing, it's just less and less every single day.
Again, the main thing that I want people to take away from this is that, with this whole email list thing, how it's getting harder to market the email list. Social media is so important going forward because you're going to always have a renewable resource of people clicking on your products. And that's the thing. Your email, if we promoted our email list constantly on LSI, we'd have an email list the size of, I don't even know what, we hardly ever do it. We already have 7,000 people on our list.
Yep.
And we hardly ever mention it. Yep. We have our app that's on the page, but a lot of people don't really go in through the app to sign up for your email.
No.
But today I actually posted on the page for people to join the email list, but the last time I did it was well over a month ago.
Yep.
So it's this constant. It's this constant renewable source. But you'll always have new people coming in. That's the thing. Always have new people coming in, especially if you're an email list kind of person that really relies on the email list. This is a great place and a great way to make that thing grow.
What I'm a big fan of is just like, we've got what I'm really happy about, and I'm not going to say this was a plan on my part by any means, but we're at the point now we have an email list and we have a good Facebook page and we have our podcast audience and we have the people just go to the GRI site on a regular basis because they like it over there, and it's becoming this ecosystem that I think is going to help us continue to run this business successfully for the next 5-10 years, when not everyone is going to. There's a lot of people that I think I think there's people that have a very strict direct marketing mindset, old school, churn and burn. This is the way you do it. It's, that works for a little while, and then it stops working, and maybe you'll make a ton of money for a year, and then you won't, and it's like, I'm a much bigger fan of the slow growth kind of thing. Let me see what else we got here. You ever do anything with competitions and giveaways on Facebook? Have you ever played with that? Yeah, we have. To effect, or what was the?
They're okay. They're okay. We actually expected to have a lot more participation. It just,
Facebook is actually stopping that right now.
Anyway. This is a problem. You can't do any more organic contests. Basically, they won't allow it. They'll kill your engagement if you try to do contests organically. Really, is basically what they're saying. You have to pay in order to get people to enter your contest and stuff like that. I mean, you can still do it.
Yeah.
You can still do it, but they're limiting that too because they have qualified that as low, like baiting and a low quality activity.
Well, it's like when people were requiring you to like a page before you would get content, which they killed a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's the like baiting. Yeah, and they don't allow it. Mm-hmm. And you have to be very careful because there are very explicit terms in their terms of service about contests. So you are allowed to do something and very much not allowed to do other things. And if you don't do it that way, then it's a very good way to get shut down. Yeah. Fantastic. You have to be careful. So we stay away from it. Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here for good questions. That one's we've already covered all that stuff. Let me see here. Blah, blah, blah. I guess there's one more. How to get traffic to a Facebook page. I think we've covered that as well, basically. So,
So
anything else you guys want to talk about before we sign off here? Because you're awesome. I've never seen your face like live.
I know. I've seen yours.
We talked on. I think we talked on Skype once when I was in Florida.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to get to know you better, because I'm just gonna say fucking awesome, and and Mike had never met you before in any way at all. So But I just want to say that I've been excited about doing this call for a while, and I hope for people who thought I talked too much in the last one, I tried to shut up this time, and I think I did. Partly because I know you guys have so much to talk about. There's no need for me to kind of jump in all the time.
You, however, did not say fuck enough. I'm going to say that. I did not say fuck enough.
Well, that's because I wasn't talking that much. You should have done it for me.
No.
There you go.
Probably should have that for you, but anyway.
So I think what Gia and Mike are doing are the future of where we're going with a lot of this stuff, whether it's on Facebook or on Google or on who knows what the hell is going to show up in 2 years. We don't even know what the next big thing is going to be. But the methods that you've kind of developed, and again, like when we were running this LOD contest, and I'm like, you're number. I think you were number 5, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that was, the top 4 were some heavy freaking hitters. There were people that were driving a lot of sales.
Yeah.
So that was insanely impressive to me. And I think the next time we do a contest, you're going to be number 3 instead, or whatever else is going to happen at that point.
We'll see. We'll see. Whatever it is, we're happy to be amongst that group, and we're just so happy to be able to give our community something that's valuable and be able to make a living from that, and
awesome.
we're just so happy. It's kind of like a win-win everywhere,
Well, when you told me that you started promoting our stuff and that's when you started making money, I was like, oh, that's so cool. That makes me happy.
And I told you the story before, when we left Greece, it was under extreme hardship, and your products, the DRI products, is what actually kind of brought us back to life.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating at all. I mean, Mike can attest to that.
That's my favorort kind of thing to hear. We get people that say that they couldn't pay their mortgage before they found our stuff, and we get people that say they tried a bunch of ClickBank stuff and it all failed for them, and they tried out. Usually TRB. That usually is the one. That's like the entry. That's like the first hit of heroin, I guess, or something like that.
Exactly.
And they get in
It's just been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing, and the experience has been fantastic. Obviously, working with you as well has been awesome. The DRI team, if anybody doesn't know, is the best fucking team ever. I mean, it's just amazing. Every single person at DRI is incredible.
It took us a long time to get a good team. I got to tell you. I mean, to get the right people in the right role. Mike just came on recently, and we have, actually Dan is coming back to us, which is a new thing that people don't know about. But it's been really fun, and having you guys on board has been amazing. I remember being in Ford, I'm like, I finally have the Justice League. Finally. I have the team. Yes, exactly. All right, folks, we're going to sign off. Do me and Gia and Mike a favor. Leave a comment on the Digital Romance Affiliate blog. I turn off comments on the YouTube page because I just don't want to deal with the BS over there. So if you're going to leave a comment, leave it on the actual affiliate page. And feel free to spread this to your friends and your enemies. And let us know if you feel like, I feel like sometime in 2015, I want to sit Mike and Gia down and make them make some kind of course out of this, because I think it'd be cool, and we could publish it and help do the marketing, and then split the money in whatever way makes sense. And because I just don't see anybody else doing this stuff in this way and with this level of impact. And so many people are kind of scared of their email addresses email lists drying up and all that stuff. So
and that's the thing, is that it's all in social media right now, baby. It really is. It really is. So Yeah, you got to get your button gear and get onto social media, and there's a lot of money to be made if you have some patience and do it right.
Well, patience and work ethic.
Yes. Yeah.
It's actually work.
Patience and work ethic, exactly.
I'm consulting with some people right now, this company out of San Francisco, and I keep reminding they didn't understand how much work goes into creating a product and creating a business and all this kind of stuff. But they're successful people. They're in the tech business. They do all this stuff. And every time we get on the phone, they're like, "There's so many more steps." I'm like, "Yeah, there are. Yeah. But if you do them and you set up the systems properly and you do everything else, the rewards are quite amazing." So,
exactly.
All right. So why don't you guys sign off here? Go ahead.
All right.
You got anything cool to say? You got a quote? You got a what? What? Are you? Yeah.
No. If anybody needs if anybody has any questions or needs any help, please feel free to email me or message me on I Love My LSI or Love Sex Intelligence. I'm sorry?
What's the best way to get in touch? Or would you rather they filter through us and we can send it to you?
Gia, I'll give you my email address. Sure. Gia, GIA at ilovemylsi.com.
You do?
They can,
awesome.
I'd be glad to help in any way that I can. And that's it.
And the folks who are listening, please don't ask the same question 50 times. Don't ask Gia to do all of your social media for you for free. Be respectful. She's smart. Mike is smart. They work hard. They get paid for what they do. That's the way. That's the way life works. Okay.
But if they have any questions and whatever, I'm very happy to help. Yeah.
I just know from my own experience, sometimes you give these things out and you get these long emails that are just like, I don't know what you're asking me to do for you exactly.
All right,
All
cool.
Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for giving up your time on a Sunday to do this. Great. Mike, lovely to finally meet you. And for everybody that's watching, please leave a comment. Please tell us how we're doing on this whole thing, because it's an evolving thing. And I think the next one we're going to do of the next Chris Haddad's Affiliate Advantage, I need to record that with a cool voice, is going to be with a woman who is a tech badass as far as this stuff. She went through some of our pages and just found these things we didn't even know that were costing us thousands of dollars, little stuff.
Amazing.
So I'm excited about that as well. And that'll come out when it comes out. I don't know when it's going to be, because I just do this for fun. Because I like you guys.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Bye.